Hello forward thinkers and welcome to Urban Canvas. In this episode we have Nina or Poulouzasvili, a dancer, performer and youth worker with a deep passion for artistic activism. In this episode we're going to discuss dance as a tool for activism and youth empowerment. As the director of YEU Cyprus, she develops and implements initiatives focused on youth empowerment, active citizenship and cultural exchange. Through dance and non-formal education, she fosters critical thinking and activism among young people. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also find us on Spotify and at fastforward.com.cy. Nina, thank you for joining us.
Pavlo, thanks so much for the invite. It's a pleasure.
So do we go with Nina or Noutsa?
I respond to both. Improvise.
Okay. I know that Noutsa is more of your performer name.
Sort of, yeah. It's actually the Georgian version of Nina. I'm originally from Georgia, so in Georgia, Noutsa exists.
Sounds more natural.
Yeah, it's not so weird as it is in Cyprus.
Okay, so we'll go with Noutsa, which is your original name.
Let's.
So you have a background in architectural interior design and street dancing, which is an interesting combination. And you explore movement through hip-hop, waacking, popping, and contemporary dance. So how do you use your performance as a tool for storytelling and social change and in your approach to working with youth?
Good question. I mean, my world makes sense to me, like all these different disciplines, they sort of merge together, like from architecture, it makes sense that the way I'm moving deals with symmetry and these kind of things, so it's sort of related. So this is my dance-related practice that I took from the architectural sort of environment. Teaching dance is a way for me to really stay connected with youth. So it's my dance path that led me to whatever it is that I did. So through dance, I discovered architecture and how architecture contributed to the development of hip-hop as a culture and the socio-political environment that contributed to its creation, let's say. And from there on, from the youth work, I think it's something that was inevitable because through hip-hop classes, because I teach a lot, I deal with youth, with young people. So someone told me I'm a youth worker. For me, it was like default. I work with young people. And then the work at YEU Cyprus basically came from that. So it's a series of events that now I get to sort of play in this field through YEU Cyprus and my practices. I don't know if I answered the question.
Yes, you did. It's really interesting to me that as an artist, at some point in your life, you felt like activism was important for you and giving back and raising awareness for social issues. So how can you use your mediums, whether that's dance, whether that's architecture, for critical thinking and self-expression, and how do you instill that to the younger generation that you guide as, as the director of YEU?
Sure, yeah. Let me think about it a little bit. I mean, how to tackle social-related topics through dance is not very difficult, in all honesty, especially from hip-hop culture, which is a culture in the dance, some dance styles that were developed based on the critical and social issues that were happening at that time. So unfortunately, not many things have changed. So there's always
You think that not many things have changed? Or is it just like we're going back and forth a little bit?
I feel that sometimes we live in a bubble and we think that many things have changed, but many times it feels like you're in the loser side always, but you're trying to do your best to contribute to some development, at least to affect one young person. It's a win. Yeah. And through dance, basically, how I work through non-formal education. So we get to co-create with the young people that are in the studio. We create hip-hop theater performances. So we talk about social issues through the process of the creation as well. And also hip-hop is a culture that brings communities together. It has very engraved in it that it needs to be a social culture. It's parties, it's jams, we do ciphers, we bring people together. So it makes sense that social transformation also happens organically in the classroom, and then when we step out of the classroom and we go to...
It happens by doing, not by necessarily teaching about social issues. It's by actively being a part of a community.
Exactly. That's part of it. And when we're developing, let's say, a project that deals with a specific narrative that we want to, go more in depth, we get to discuss that with the kids. So while discussing, each one teaches one. So I get to see how they position themselves within the scope of this problem that we're trying to tackle, and then something new comes out that is also theirs, and it's their story. So the point is not the final result always, but the process towards the result that makes it transformative.
Yeah, and educational. Yeah. I find it very interesting, the whole concept of non-traditional education, because let's say the government, it's so focused on the formal aspect of education, and we forget how many things we learn just by exposing ourselves to different cultures or to different experiences or to different people. And I know that YEU, does exchanges with a lot of other countries.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a specific example of an experience like that and how it transformed some of the people that you work with?
Sure. YEU has been active in the field of non-formal education for over 20 years. We celebrated our 20 years anniversary in 2024. And before that, it was an informal team of young people. So it's been always part of it. Like, its main focus was non-formal education and different learning styles. So even in schools, you see some effort from teachers, specific teachers, let's say, that they want to, explore more methodologies and to really make it adaptable for the students, so not to necessarily follow the normal structure system of the school. Obviously, that takes more effort because, we have this informal learning, which is what we're currently doing. So we're just talking and exchanging, and you will teach me something, and I might hopefully, share my insights, and we learn this way. And then you have the formal structure, which is more, recognizable. You get your degrees, diplomas, blah, blah. And then somewhere in the middle, you have the non-formal education, which is a methodology that is adaptive and flexible. And it's based on the needs of the people that are taking the class or the course or whatever activity it is that we're doing. I find that this is the most honest way, because it comes from a shared experience. It's based on facts, obviously, but the way you're teaching something is participatory. It comes from everyone. So that's the magic of non-formal. I was very fortunate to see impact in front of my eyes through the work that I've been doing these years, through dance as well, but also through projects that we do with YEU. Related to art practices mostly, like one of our recent projects that we also got an award for it, and we were very proud of it. It was called Art Act Distract, which was a partnership with another local NGO here in Cyprus, ABR.
Which one? ABR.
Alternative Brains Rule. So we had this very impactful partnership, I feel. And we did workshops with emerging artists, activists, and people that want to do things through their art. And these workshops were priceless. Just to bring so many young people together and just to, no filter, and really try and understand how we can make impact. It was very juicy, let's say. And we were guiding them to, encouraging them to do public interventions in the city, basically. So that was one of the results of the project. And then we see it happening, and we see people sort of getting into it and stopping.
What kind of public interventions?
We did different ones. One of the ones that I felt was really poking was from a team called Under the Tent, It's Still Raining. So what the guys did, basically, they stayed anonymous to start with. They created the scenography opposite the Fan Romani school.
Okay.
So it was like card boxes, like a big sort of box. It was like a studio, basically. It was painted black, so people were wondering what is going on. Why are we painting this? What are these people doing? You know. So this tackled basically. It was a plea for the children's rights. So how do children face war and displacement as a whole from so many countries? And the artists, they had drawings of these children accessible for the public to take the drawing and draw that drawing on the big scenography. So putting someone in someone else's shoes, basically. And at the same time, the artists recorded testimonials from kids that talk about it, you know, how it happened to them and how it affected their families, and in different languages from all over the world. So it was like a 4D experience, you know. You had the sound, you had the visual, people were stopping, people were contributing, kids were engaging so much, which was super interesting to see, because initially the artists aimed to share this with adults. So the adults get, you know, more encouragement to be empathetic. But then we saw that the kids were actually contributing more than adults, and it was
because
priceless.
they're more open to receiving new information.
And, you know, we could talk about it with them in a different sort of language, sure, not so, you know, fancy words, but they got it, and they stayed with us through the whole process. We were there for over 10 hours.
Wow.
So it was durational. So that was very impactful for me as well, because I was there from the beginning, I was participating, and to see how people, you know, clash with each other sometimes. We had, you know, the Ukraine-Russia war, Palestine, obviously. So these people that were sort of on different sides, if I may, they got to talk
about it, yeah.
And we could see that. We could see them talking, and for us, we were like, fuck.
I think that's a prime example, because I know a lot of artists struggle to balance creativity with influence, with social impact, especially if you need to make ends meet and, you know, do the commercial things, but also say what you want to say as an artist. So this is just a great example that you're giving these artists the opportunity to do that. So what would you say are the biggest challenges for the youth, specifically in Cyprus, when it comes to arts?
When it comes to arts, wow. Wow, that's a jar of worms, like.
Yeah. Well, you can talk about, you know, the things you know. It could be about dance, or it could be about...
Yeah, I mean, definitely it's accessibility in terms of funding. I mean, everyone needs to work.
Do you collaborate with the ministry? Do you collaborate with the educational department?
We try, but it's never, you know, in such a super official way. It's always some good people that recognize good practices, and they invite us to schools to share our practice, even especially with hip hop, how you can use it for conflict resolution, for self-expression. So we get these kind of calls. But yeah, to be honest, there's not a lot of support. I mean, you might have heard the status of the artist, which is a social issue in Cyprus on its own. So this is one of the obstacles, because it's not accessible, it's not realistic. So this is one of the contributing factors to, you know, stopping to produce artistic and creative work. And it's what you said, really, like, you need to, nowadays you need to check all the boxes. Yeah, you need to be creative, you need to be commercial, you need to, I don't know, also tackle social issues. Sometimes we feel that we need to do all these things to be considered legit. So I think this is also the challenge, and it causes, you know, stress to young artists. And obviously the funding is not super accessible. There's not many opportunities for people to apply and to create.
To get the fund and to, yeah.
So yeah, I would say this is one of the issues. And
any misconceptions that you see around dancing or street dancing?
I mean, obviously, misconception is that art is not as important as any other subject that is considered more, standardized. So even in school, from my experience, I was never encouraged to be an artist. Like it was always something that you did as an extracurriculum activity in private entities also. So you need to afford to do art. So again, this accessibility is a bit restricting. Because we don't have, youth centers as such, so everyone can go and learn for free.
Yeah.
So this is, I feel...
I always thought that art is either for the very wealthy or the very poor. And if you're in the middle, it's just so hard to make art.
For real. What else can I tell you about this? In terms of dance per se, street dance is even lower on the pyramid. It's not even on the pyramid.
Because it's not high art, it's not ballet or it's not
recognized.
There is that perception, right?
Definitely. This is a big misconception. We really we do efforts to sort of connect the dots between dance styles, genres, because there's so many common things. If you take out the title contemporary and you just see it as dance as a whole, there's so much that is, interrelated. And I see this more in Cyprus, obviously, because it's a small island. Mathematically, we're less people. It also makes sense that it's this way. So, and there's been some progress, I must say. But yet again, it's a challenge because, street dancers in Cyprus, they don't know that they should be able to apply to more, official platforms where they can showcase their work or something like that. But we've been independent for many years, so we played like this in the system a little bit, doing our own initiatives. So, working with the community. There are many hip hop practitioners in Cyprus that do really good work, and they do social work. We all work with kids, young people, and spreading, the values of hip-hop culture, which is, based on peace, unity, love, having fun, and expression and individuality, and the point that the more different you are from each other, the more inspiring the art form is. So it's not about copy-pasting your teacher even. It's to find your own voice through this movement, so how you express through it. So yeah,
that's so beautiful. So before we move into some rapid questions, I want to give you the opportunity to say if YEU has any upcoming projects, anything important that you want the audience to know.
Yeah, definitely. YEU, we're 4 people now in the organization. Each of us runs different sort of projects. We gave a little bit of a direction towards arts this season, because also the team that is in it, we have this expertise, if I may. So we're looking forward to see what's going to happen, actually, because now we're applying for all these projects. It's deadline season, yay. So we'll see what goes through. But for sure, one important project that we already started sort of prepping for it is called Each One Teach One. It's a volunteering project that will run for 1 year, starting in July. So we're expecting to host 6 volunteers from abroad that want to do change through hip-hop art forms, sports, and any sort of creative expression. So I look forward to that, because we'll get to,
if anyone in Cyprus is interested, how do you get to volunteer for YEU? What are the criteria?
There's not many criteria. We're quite open and flexible.
You have to be young. You have to be youth.
You have to be youthful,
Maybe
I
youthful
must say.
In your heart.
Definitely. Our NGO works mostly with young people from 18 to 35 years old, but there are many NGOs as well in Cyprus that work with people over 35, so it's not just us. There are many good players in the field. But what you need to do is just to, stay updated about what's happening. Everything is on our social media, on our website. We post different opportunities for local sort of workshops or trainings, or to, get the opportunity to travel abroad. So that's fantastic. When I first learned that, these Erasmus projects and you get to travel for free.
People should get advantage of that.
For For sure, it's the best way. I wish I knew this when I was starting out. Like, it was one of the reasons that I followed this path in the NGO sector to, you know, bridge the people, bridge the communities that I know that are more underprivileged with these opportunities that are for everyone, really. So there are no specific criteria per se. There needs to be an interest and the motivation, basically.
Great. So I'm gonna ask you a few things. Try to answer quickly. I want you to tell me a dance style that you haven't mastered but want to learn.
Tap dance.
Tap dancing,
Yes.
okay. A performance, a movie or book that left a lasting impression on you.
I'll go with movie because it triggers me more. There's this movie with Charlie Chaplin, The Great Dictator.
Yes.
So there's a scene there that he sort of plays with this beach ball, and he's like, tick, 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 and it's so, I don't know, it's so intense for me to see that, because the ball is the beach ball that is the world, basically, the globe.
And he's playing with the word.
And he's playing with the word so gracefully, and it's, you know, it opens up so many tabs in my brain, so that really sticks with me a lot.
Excellent. Do you have a message that you want to give to young people looking to make a difference through art?
Sure, I'll try. I mean, to be honest, really, to try and understand why it's personal, why you want to tackle the specific topic, how is it related to you. I know there's so much box ticking, but really, let's try not to. Let's try and be honest. So if it comes from the heart, I'm a bit romantic, but no, if it comes from the heart, it will be sincere and real, and you
it's
will
worth
find
doing.
And you'll find other like-minded people probably that resonate with that. Because if you're dealing with something personal and you want to, you know, sort of share awareness around the topic, there's probably someone else that is also dealing, but maybe not ready yet to open. So yeah, I'll just say be sincere, honest about the why. No.
Excellent. Noutsa, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, no, thanks so much.
So I'm Pavlos Christou. I encourage you to also check out our new podcast, Experts Unpacked, where we focus on the experiences of expert professionals in Cyprus and their engagement with the local community, and our flagship podcast, Breakpoint with Michael Tirimos, for in-depth conversations with the most successful, high-profile figures in Cyprus. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also find us on Spotify and visit fastforward.com.cy for your daily news. Until next time, keep inspiring and take care.